Boxing, Tom Loeffler knows his boxing.
All right, we're going live now. This is a special Easter edition. This is the Santa Monica College is closed.
Yeah.
The track
nearby is closed.
Track is closed. The park is closed.
Yeah. My friend Kevin Costner showed us this. Is lending this very special.
It's pretty tropical back here, so
the Palm Tree Studio.
we appreciate Kevin's hospitality. He was at the track trying to run, and he let us come over here, so that's good.
Show him like a little natural roof here.
So little canopy. It's a little bit overcast today, but it's nice. Nice California palm trees. And we have Coach Dave over here. Dave, how are you holding up with the?
I'm doing great.
How's your routine with the virus crisis?
Very good.
You're keeping your social distancing?
I totally am obsessed. I don't go to the bank. I don't go to the market. I don't get near anybody. But I'm working out more. Got a routine going. Eating better. Sleeping better.
You look good.
Feel good. Feel really good. And just I saw where Bruce Trampler is walking 5 miles a day now. So this is a great opportunity this time.
Yeah.
Is to get yourself together.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically, and be positive, and you get a routine going. And walking is an incredibly great exercise for your mind and your body.
Coach was ahead of his time, Doug, when
Right, everybody wants to shake hands.
Kiss,
and Coach is like,
Coach wouldn't shake hands. He wouldn't touch the handles on the doors.
Respect knuckles.
You know, but I won't even do that anymore.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it.
No more fist bumps.
Anymore, but
You know what we got to do? Are you guys Star Trek fans? What did the Vulcans do in the original Star Trek?
Oh yeah, didn't they do that? They did this, yeah.
Live long and prosper?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got to do that.
Yep. There you go.
You know, I wouldn't shake hands for years, and people were really pissed off at me.
They take it personally.
You know,
don't
why
they?
They thought it was disrespectful, yeah. But you were smart. You were ahead of the time.
That's not being praised for it. I like
Well,
it.
you're gonna be the norm,
Yep.
or it should be. There's certain behaviors that need to kind of change
No, I think that is going
to keep
change.
this from bouncing back.
We're observing the social distancing on this Easter Sunday. How's Nina holding up, Doug? I know
She's doing great.
she wasn't able to join us today.
She's a little stir crazy. She's not used to being indoors for long periods of time like I am. Like I was indoors all day yesterday, and I was fine with it. She was like, "Don't you want to get out? Don't you want to walk the dog?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's raining. It's dark now. No, I'm good." Like, well, you've been inside all day, and I'm like, "It happens."
You know what? I travel so much. I actually am. I appreciate the time home. You know, these days.
You get
So
stuff done.
you get a lot of stuff done. That's right.
I had a lot of correspondence to do.
Yeah.
I had a lot of, I'm actually just as busy as I normally would be with a live boxing schedule in terms of what I do with Ring Magazine, with the publications, because since the schedule's clear for the next couple of months, we can plan ahead and come up with really interesting popular topics or popular fighters and just do retrospective issues. So
are you doing
I'm
any?
working on like 3 issues at the same time.
Are you doing any special Ring TV online interactions? Maybe like a question and answer session or something like that?
You know what? It's so funny. A publicist asked me about this just on Friday, and I hadn't thought about it. And I think I will. I'll start doing like stuff from like my Instagram, like Instagram Live, and maybe do like kind of like live mailbag format Q&As through the Ring Magazine Twitter account. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's good.
We're going to do something like in conjunction with Golden Boy, like go through the Golden Boy library and show like condensed versions of popular fights.
And you'll do some commentary.
I'll commentate. It'll be not like a commentary like blow by blow.
No, but about the fight. About the fight, yeah.
Give you some background information. Just give our thoughts on the build up to certain high profile matchups, whether it's, De La Hoya Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana or Eric Morales versus Maidana or, whatever. The Golden Boy library is pretty deep, so we could pull a lot of fights. But, it could be like myself, another commentator, and a guest journalist or a guest fighter or a guest trainer.
Sure. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Say, if we do Mayweather Maidana, Roberto Garcia would be perfect because he trained Maidana for both of those fights.
You can have a question and answer for people sending in their questions, and then you can answer it online as well.
Speaking
Also.
of guest trainers,
Beto
Duran had on Joel Diaz on his podcast the other night. It was scheduled for 30 minutes. It went 2.5 hours. You can still get it. You can get it. You can find it. It's such a great interview. So they started drinking about an hour into it. By the time it was over, they're both totally drunk, and it was really good.
It was over 2 hours.
So that's Beto Duran's.
It was really good. Joel Diaz has a lot of depth to him.
Yeah,
and he's good.
Joel Diaz, very solid trainer.
Very enjoyable. Another thing that you can get your sports fix on FS1. They have there's 2 shows. One's called Speak for Yourself with Jason Whitlock.
Yeah,
and he has guys on there, and it's really, really a good show. And the other one is Colin Cowherd. His shows also on radio shows on TV.
So what are they talking about now that the sports is on?
A lot about pro football.
Okay.
And basketball, but it's real good. And these guys, he had on. He has incredibly good guests on
the Whitlock show,
on Colin's show.
Colin.
And Colin is one of the smartest guys of all time. So is Whitlock.
Did you know Cowherd's pretty tall?
Yeah, 6'2".
I saw him.
Very tall, yeah.
He's a lot taller than I thought he was.
He ran the mile on the show once. 6'11" he did.
He looks like a miler.
Yeah.
Good height and everything, and he's trimmed.
He's a very together guy, but it's a really good show. And you don't have to be like a crazy sports fan to enjoy those shows. And the Whitlock show is real. Have you ever watched it?
No.
Sam?
I've never watched the Cowherd show either.
Another thing you can watch today, last year's...
hey, I'm familiar with both guys. I'm impressed by both guys. You know what I mean? Like,
they're incredible.
I'm just not a general sports fan at all.
Yeah. The other thing, today they're showing last year's Masters on CBS today in its entirety. It's the one where Tiger won the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was historic, yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
So Sam Garcia wishes everyone a happy Easter.
Sam, I'm repping you.
And Doug Fisher's representing Garcia Boxing. Yep.
Yeah.
And we also want to thank Dennis Taylor.
Yeah, for all he's
Ringside
done.
Boxing Show website and radio show. He retired. Yesterday was his last day. I want to thank him. It was, the best website of all. I'm going to miss it.
Do you think they'll come back once it starts again, or he's done? He's done. That was your favorite. I know you talked about that a lot of times, Dennis Taylor's show.
You get he got articles from all the other websites, put them on there, spent a lot of time.
And nobody else does that.
Did a great job.
You did, Doug, you got a compliment from Kaiser Beckbergen. It says the best. So that's a compliment for you.
Toss me the rope.
Oh. What else do we have on the boxing side? So I know Dana was planning to do UFC 249 August 18th. I mean, no, April.
What's wrong with
April
me?
18th.
I'm going to blame the artificial grass.
There you go. Yeah, that grass.
Wow.
That grass might not be conducive.
I've been skipping rope between Sundays.
Have you been practicing?
Yeah. I will skip rope for about 5 to 10 minutes before I work out in my garage.
Let's see your progress.
Well, I
There we
don't
go.
have any progress.
There we
I
go.
don't know what the
Now you got the rhythm down.
Okay, I don't know. No, you know what? The grass does kind of get in the way.
Oh.
I just have to jump a little bit higher. Holy crap. I guess this is good for me. This will force me to jump.
So the UFC show got canceled. Unfortunately, I know Dana was really pushing to get that through on. I think he was running a problem with the state, so it would be federal.
As a promoter, what did you think of that? Were you in favor of what he was doing, or were you?
You know, I was in favor of getting any type of live sports event.
So as a sports fan, you actually wanted to watch that.
As a sports fan,
right?
definitely would have watched it. And I bet you, had that come off, the ratings would have been through the roof.
Yeah.
But, he would have had to have done it in a safe manner. And I think under the current CDC guidelines, I think it was just too many roadblocks for
he's got balls though.
people being too close together. Yeah, absolutely. You know, he was really trying to push that. I was texting him this week. And he was really trying to push that through. So, and then what other news do we have? There was an announcement. DAZN, I guess, put on hold for 3 months their sports programming. Or I don't know if it was an announcement. I think it was some kind of a leak. That's what I had heard.
What does that mean?
That they're not for 3 months. There's no live shows.
Oh,
Remember,
okay.
JP was complaining about that. Yeah.
Right. Now, if you're a monthly subscriber, you can. There's a pause option where they stop.
Yeah, you can pause that.
They stop
Yeah.
charging you until you want to resume it.
So realistically, we're looking at now the earliest June, but realistically probably July, August is.
I would give the zone a break. I mean, $100 for a year for all that content.
That's the package I did.
It's the biggest bargain of all time. So, they're going through rough times like everyone else, maybe rougher. So give them a break. Yeah. Just relax.
That's realistically.
I would just beat off instead of.
That's realistically one pay-per-view fight. So in that perspective, Dave, you're right. Coach, you're right.
But not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Then I saw someone else knocking Sergio Mora being so bad. He is so good. Yeah. This guy is so great.
What did they say? What was the over-under or the comparison? What's going to be more, the number of babies born because of this situation, or the number of divorces? So that's that could be one potential effect. I had a lot of Tecate stored up from the sponsorship from the event, so putting that to good use from the garage. So that's how I'm fighting the coronavirus, is drinking all those Tecates.
How's Corona beer doing?
You know what? It's funny you say that. I heard that there was a big drop in sales because of just the same name, for whatever reason, the coronavirus and Corona beer. But, they also have Modelo and other brands under that same family. So, yeah.
I'm not a beer guy, but Modelo's.
Yeah. So
does Kevin work out here at all?
Oh, Kevin Costner. You know what? I don't think he uses this particular area, but he can't go to the gym, so maybe now he is. Just wanted to give a shout out. I think I mentioned last week that Kevin Kelly had lost his father to the coronavirus. So those are the type of things where when it gets really close like that to people that you know, then it really affects you. I had a WBC promoters call this week with Mauricio Suleiman, president of WBC, and Luda Bella was on it, Eddie Hearn was on it, Carl Moretti from Top Rank was on it, Eric Gomez was on it. So it was nice to just reconnect with people that you haven't spoken to or haven't really seen for a while, and that was nice to see how everyone's going. Carl and Lou are both in New York, so they're in kind of like the most challenged area out there on the East Coast in the Newark area. So,
did you guys talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Lou said that he knows a few people that have been affected, or their families have been affected. So it's it's challenging out there.
I know one person with it in New York.
Really? Is that COVID-19?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody.
And Colin had on this high executive that him and his wife both got it in New York. They sort of pinpointed where they got it. They went to some party.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they both had completely different symptoms. The wife and
I was just going to ask what your friend said about the symptoms. So I guess it affects different people in different ways.
It affects everyone differently.
Yeah.
This guy that Colin had on, him and his wife's symptoms were totally different.
Huh.
And the way it all came down was different. Got to be careful. You just got to stay away from everyone. You got to really take this seriously.
Brian Ceballos in New York. I was just texting with him, and he said he's doing okay. He said the family's okay, and so he's keeping us focused, keeping in shape. That's the important part with the fighters is they need to stay at their weight. They need to stay in the conditioning, at least cardio, so that when things get ramped up again, there's not a long lag time of, we need 3 months to train before a fight type of thing,
So how's Brian staying in shape?
He didn't go into details of, I didn't really ask him his daily routine, but he just said he's doing well. He's doing well out there.
He's a mature guy. He's
yeah.
very responsible.
He's a young guy, but he really seems mature above his years, ahead of his years, and so I'm sure he'll keep his focus. He was going to headline the Hollywood show that we had to cancel, March 29th. Cecilia Breckus, she was training up in Big Bear, so she actually decided instead of flying back to Norway, she's going to stay in the camp up there. So in one way, she's isolated, so she's just got to be pretty safe up there in Big Bear, and she has access to the gym and everything up there. So she's going to be staying in training camp. Boachuk stayed in L.A. Boachuk stayed here in L.A. So he's going to keep training down here. He didn't go back to Ukraine. A lot of people didn't want to take those long flights going back there. So you don't know. Okay, it's one thing to go back to the family, but then if you're on the plane for 10 or 12 hours and then
I would be really paranoid.
It's challenging,
a trip like that with that recycled air. Like even if you're on a plane and there's like 15 people on the plane, if they're coughing like Coach nonstop, as people do on planes. I mean, I get paranoid.
That's the worst.
From LA to Las Vegas.
Sure.
And 3 rows back, there's somebody coughing nonstop. I worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm that paranoid.
It all gets recirculated.
Now I'm really freaked out. Yeah. So imagine being on one of these flights that are 12, 13, 14 hours.
Triple G was training for a fight coming up. That was going to be scheduled in June. So
What was that going to be? The Polish guy?
That was Polish mandatory. Yeah. So the actual date or location hadn't been formalized or announced, but the time frame with the zone was formalized. So that's all being pushed back now. He had actually started his training camp, and then we had to break that. Yeah. So he's home with the family now, and I'm sure the kids and his wife appreciate him being at home. So we'll see how that. As soon as things start to break here, then we'll see about making an announcement.
Two different ways. All these fighters being athletes being off might get soft and not hard getting back, or maybe the rest is good. It's hard to say.
Sometimes the rest for a professional athlete could be good because it gives your body somewhat of a chance to heal. You saw what happened with
all these guys have little aches and pains and nagging injuries.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens with LeBron. I mean, the Lakers were in first place, and LeBron looked like he was putting a championship team together with Anthony Davis, and now that's on hold. And for someone like LeBron, who's been in the league for so long and isn't the youngest guy anymore, you don't know how many other opportunities, but hopefully they're able to, with the NBA, do their finals or at least the playoffs, and hopefully they get that done. The March Madness, I know the college students are very disappointed that the seniors aren't going to have the ability to compete in a March Madness tournament. That's something they'll never get back because they can't postpone it for a year or delay it because they'll be graduated from college. So that's a challenging.
Still going to have the NFL draft.
Still going to have the draft? Yeah. I bet you the ratings that'll be through the roof because everyone will be watching that. Yeah.
Do you know much about the players
coming out? Well, I know the quarterbacks. Sure. I know the quarterback from LSU, quarterback from Alabama, Tua.
Yeah, Tua.
Yeah. Yep. So, it'll be interesting. And Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady now is where he went to Tampa Bay, right?
That's really interesting. That's what they talk about on these shows.
Big news.
Right. All about the draft, about Brady. Brady was on Howard Stern the other day, 2-hour interview.
I heard Stern did a good job.
I heard it was. I heard bits of it. It was really good. Brady was talking about how his marriage was in a little bit of trouble. A couple of years ago, his wife gave him the ultimatum. He's got to spend more time around the.
Doug, you got a compliment from Bernie B1 Barmasel.
What's up, Bernie?
He complimented on your new story with Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano.
Oh yeah, that was Thomas Gervaisi for the most recent issue.
There you go.
Of the magazine with Roman Gonzalez on the cover.
Chocolatito.
And you were integral in the popularizing of Chocolatito to a United States audience, bringing him to HBO and really giving him the exposure that I think is going to serve him towards one day being inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's arguments, where Chocolatito was the best pound-for-pound fighter. When we gave him the exposure on HBO and on the Triple G shows, even on the pay-per-view shows, you know, that's when really people, the mainstream people, got exposed to him. You had been following him, I know, for a long time previous to that.
Yeah.
Did you go to the fight that was here in L.A. with when he fought Estrada the first time? Yeah, I mean, that was one of the... Can you imagine Chocolatito was the co-feature on that show? Right, to... what was the headline? Was Brian Valoria, right?
Yeah, Brian Valoria versus Tyson Marquez.
The Hawaiian Punch. Right, because Brian was popular at that time also.
Yeah.
So.
And in Estrada's very next fight, he went from 108 to 112 flyweight, and he challenged Valoria in Macau and beat Valoria and won 2 flyweight titles.
There you go.
And now Juan Francisco Estrada, who also fought in the Superfly series.
Fought on all of our Superfly shows.
He'd actually been out. There was injuries, or there was something that kept him out of the ring for a while.
Yeah.
And you brought him back against Carlos Cuadras.
Right. That was a great fight.
They nearly fought each other to a standstill. In fact, I had that fight even.
It was very close, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Estrada scored a knockdown, and that edged it for him, and he won that fight narrowly on the scorecards. And he hasn't looked back. You know, he had a setback against Risukeso Rungasai, who we all know is a badass.
Right.
And then he came back and
he avenged that
in the rematch.
Yep.
So now Estrada is the Ring Magazine Super Flyweight Champion, WBC title holder as well, and he's in everybody's top 10 pound for pound.
Yep.
And that's a guy that Chocolatito took on back in late 2012.
Right.
And yeah, I was one. I'm among the few, the proud, that were actually there at the sports arena. It was a rainy
at that
night
time,
in Los Angeles, and the fans were really treated to something special. But that's the great thing about these little guys, and I'm so glad that you got them on HBO and helped build this fan base here in America, because I think he sold tickets. He and Cuadras sold tickets when they got headline at the Forum in Inglewood, my hometown. And I know he sold tickets and had fans in attendance at Madison Square Garden, where he
against
fought
Valoria,
Brian Valoria and Sri Sukeso.
There was a lot of Nicaraguan flags there.
And both were great fights.
Absolutely.
That's the thing about Chocolatito.
He's always in a great fight.
He was an elite boxer who made for dramatic and exciting action bouts. So glad to have him on the cover, and I'm so glad to have like real boxing writers like Thomas Trabadze, that have been around a long time, that will put a spotlight on fighters and factions of boxing that get overlooked. Like Trabadze focuses on women's boxing. And right now, there's some amazing fighters, and Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
Right.
Just look at their stats and just watch their fights. They can really fight.
That's going to be a great fight.
They fight. They're complete fighters. They take it to their opponents. They score knockouts, and they're action fighters, and they only face tough opposition. So they've already agreed to meet. They were supposed to fight in Manchester, I think, in May.
Right.
That's got postponed. But whenever they do meet, hopefully this year, that's going to be a very special fight.
That'll set up a Final Four tournament, because that's a tremendous fight between Katie Taylor and Serrano. And then, remember, we had announced the fight with Cecilia Brecus against Jessica McCaskill.
Jessica, yeah.
Right, that's where Eddie was going to do that show on his show.
So, Dougie, hands down, who's the greatest woman fighter of all time?
I mean, the best I've seen, the scariest I've seen is Lucia Riker.
Exactly.
You know?
Totally.
However, Ann Wolf's pretty scary, too.
No, Ann Wolf.
I wouldn't spar with her.
Sort of two different types.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, Ann Wolf in terms of, like, punching power, physical strength, and just, Riker was an
technique, boxing technique.
I used to go watch her work out at Wild Card.
Yeah.
Lucia Riker. That's like watching Sugar Ray Robinson work out.
She had tremendous style,
She was incredible.
And she was like possessed.
Yeah.
She kind of, man, I'll tell you what, Riker reminds me of Edwin Valero, the way he trained. They trained with this fierce intensity to where you didn't want to bother them, right? Like some guys, they're gym rats and they love to work out and they train hard and they spar hard and they hit those bags, and like Shane Mosley's like that, but he was having a good time. He's in a jovial mood. He loves being in the gym. He'd always have his boy with him. He's grown up now and fighting for Golden Boy.
Yeah.
And but you can say, "Hey, what's up, champ? What's up, Shane?" And Shane's like, "Hey, you know." But you wouldn't bother Lucia when she's in the zone. You sure as hell wouldn't fuck with Valero.
I remember Lucia.
But you couldn't take your eyes off them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were beautiful.
She had a tremendous style and a lot of power. I agree with you with Ann Wolf's power, but Lucia just seemed stronger than all those.
Scary,
yeah.
Big
punching power.
Story. It's 1997, I think. It's 97, and I used to work out the LA Boxing Club where Shane Mosley trained, and there was a midweek top-ranked card being held at the Olympic.
Right next door.
Auditorium.
Yeah.
It was like a Wednesday show, and it was a world championship headliner. It was Gennaro Hernandez, who was the WBC
local fan favorite,
going up against Carlos Famoso Hernandez.
Wow, okay,
so
yeah.
Hernandez versus Hernandez.
Oh, I remember that fight.
Not a divorce. I think that was the
I remember that fight.
Clever, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, lot of fighters on the undercard, including a kid out of the '96 Olympics named Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Okay.
So that was my first time seeing him.
A few people have heard of Floyd.
Roger was around there.
Yeah.
You know, Roger was training him at the time because Floyd Sr. wasn't out of jail yet, and we snuck over. We worked out, and there was a couple hours after the gym closed before the Olympic opened. And we just walked right across diagonally through the shared parking lot and just went in there, no tickets, no credentials, no nothing, and sat front row. And we had to move a couple of times, you know, because people had those seats. But we watched the entire show. The first bout on that card was Lucia Riker. And we watched
she was the opening fight?
Anybody's in their seats.
Wow,
So
okay.
it's an empty Olympic, right? And there's these like 4 or 5 boxing nuts. It's myself. Gary Randall, who started House of Boxing and later Max Boxing with me. There was a club fighter, heavy-handed club fighter named Warren War Dog Kromberger. And do you remember Dwayne Tiger Williams? No. He fought at the Forum.
I remember Dwayne Williams. Yeah.
Remember Tiger Williams?
Yep, sure.
He was like a junior middleweight, real fast.
Yeah.
Local guy. And maybe somebody else. I don't remember who else. But we were all sitting there, and we noticed Riker just mentally warming up, like maybe half an hour before her fight, and she's like a caged tiger.
She was
she's just walking around. She's in the back, you know, like behind the seats, right? Yeah. And she's like kind of where the walkway to the ring or whatever. It's like 30 minutes before her fight, and then she disappears into the dressing room, and then she comes back, and she's got her gloves on, and there's Vaseline all over her face. And her face was like one of those Japanese kabuki masks, you know, like she was terrifying. And her opponent was in the ring, and she walks into the ring, like still nobody there.
Right.
There's literally nobody there but a few like of the fight teams. Roger Mayweather was there, the late Roger Mayweather, rest in peace. And she goes in there, and the way she dismantled this lady, it was terrifying. It was just like, oh my God, man, like. This woman will whip a lot of dudes' asses.
She was dominant.
And that was when she was still in her prime.
Right.
If you remember, nobody wanted to fight her.
Right. I remember.
She even got like Emmanuel Stewart to train her.
Yeah, Emmanuel trained her. That's right. Yeah.
They couldn't get anybody to fight her. And she kind of like sort of died on the vine in terms of her career. She didn't have a lot of
Well, remember the big fight was going to be against Mia St. John? No, against Chrissy Martin. Against Chrissy Martin, the $1 million lady. That was one of Bob's marketing ideas after the after the movie, and that would have been a great fight, her and Christy Martin.
Yeah,
but then she tore her Achilles, and unfortunately didn't.
They're both inaugural inductees. Inaugural women inductees into the International Boxing Hall of Fame.
Nice.
They're part of the class of 2020,
nice.
Which is in there now, but they'll actually have their ceremony in 2021 because of the coronavirus. Yeah.
But getting back to
that was a great bet because Lucille Riker was only a 2-1 favorite in that fight. She was going to murder her, and we had already bet on that fight, and then they called it off.
We just got a compliment on the grass here. So Kevin Costner, it looks like his gardener is here all the time, every day or twice a week. So yeah, definitely.
Before he does the stretches,
no weeds.
yoga,
watered regularly, fertilized. Yeah, so it looks very nice back here.
You see the paparazzi peeking in.
So we're happy that Kevin let us use access to his backyard.
Coach, you got some trivia, right?
Yeah, I got some.
Let's finish up before we start with the trivia. Let's just finish up with what I was talking about, the Final Four tournament. So you have Cecilia Brækhus versus Jessica McCaskill, two champions fighting each other.
And that's at a catchweight?
A unified champion, McCaskill, moving up, and undisputed champion, arguably pound for pound champion, Cecilia Brækhu's moving down at a catch weight. Yeah, that's 145 pounds. So Cecilia's been at 147. I was amazed. Actually, her entire career, she's been a welterweight champion. If she wins this fight, she'll actually break Joe Louis's streak of 25 title defenses. This would be her 26th title defense if she's successful. Very tough. Jess McCaskill, who's a unified champion. And then the winners, if everything goes the right way, the winners would fight the winner between Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor.
Is Taylor Serrano, is that going to be at 135?
I think it's 135, yeah.
But Taylor, in her last fight,
she fought at 140.
She fought at 140,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And won a title, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, maybe
so
the
it's
winners meet at 140 or 140.
Somewhere in that range, yeah. So
that's great. That's great for women.
But it's nice to have a build up like that to then have a pretty marketable final.
She didn't have that where there's other women who have an amateur background or have her level of talent that are willing to mix it up and when Riker fought and Martin fought, there wasn't a lot of promotional interest. I mean, like
marketable opponents,
John had
right?
Top rank, but they just kept her at like 4 rounders or whatever, kind of like a sideshow with Butterbean. And then Don King had Christy Martin
on the Tyson shows.
Yeah, and he did well with her. I mean, she was fighting often and in quality opposition, and she even made the cover of Sports Illustrated, which was historic for women's boxing. But he wasn't doing co-promotions with Christy, though.
Have you seen her lately?
Yeah.
She's a trainer now.
Yeah.
And she's
really in a good place.
Act together.
She married one of her opponents.
She was married to that guy.
Oh, that guy was a rat.
And I think he tried to murder her.
He did.
Yeah, they got in some physical. Yeah, Chrissy's a very nice person. I see her. When I see her at the fight, she's always very friendly.
I was at the LA Boxing Club when Lucia Riker attacked Christy. I was there. That was an open workout for some Don King show.
Was that before that fight promotion was supposed to happen?
No, this was years before that.
Before, right? Yeah.
It was a Don King who was, he was promoting something, and they had a media workout.
Yeah, I think there was dislike between the two of them. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. But I appreciate you with Chocolatito and the compliments. We sold out the forum with him and StubHub back at the time, and he was always a great
I forgot about
member
that.
of the StubHub.
Flight 1 was at StubHub.
Right, with the Inoue
also the
on
US debut of the Monster.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right.
Hey, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What happened to that Sower knocked him out the second fight?
Sorangasai?
Yeah. What happened with Gonzalez?
With Chocolatito, but if you remember,
camp and all, he was just mentally shot.
If you remember, his trainer passed away.
Yeah.
The trainer passed away, and
get the latest. I'll give you a copy of the latest magazine because I got the copies now. They just came.
And they were very
yesterday.
close. Yeah.
He talks a lot in depth about that in the cover story.
Yeah.
About where he and his manager talk about where he was. And for him, it's not just emotionally and mentally; it's spiritually, right?
Yeah.
He talks in terms of spirit.
Yeah.
Spirit was shot. He didn't feel like himself going into the first fight with Sorangasai, but
arguably a lot of people had him winning that fight.
I was there. I had him winning pretty easily, actually.
Yeah. It was a great fight.
That's one of those ironic situations. Had he won that was a mandatory. Had he won that fight, there wouldn't have been a rematch, and then he would have just kept going.
So important for all these loser wannabe fans.
But look at the story now. Now he's a champion again.
I don't care. Let's say it's legit. Let's say he hands down lost the first fight to Srisaket Sorangasai. I still say with what he did during the 2010s, he's still a fighter of the decade.
I agree. There's a strong argument for that. For the level.
He's my fighter of the decade.
The level of competition that he fought.
Oh, I love him. No, I wasn't. I was crushed for Chocolatito because I was such a fan and admirer of his. But you have to give Sorangasai credit, and he's super humble.
Yeah.
He's just as humble as Roman.
Very humble. And Sorangasai became a national hero in Thailand, bringing a world championship back there.
We used to watch him work out in Santa Monica.
Yeah, Santa Monica. And you talk to him, it's like a Buddhist monk.
Totally.
You just sit in his presence.
Yeah,
you get like serenity.
No, you can feel it.
It's amazing. Yeah, I love these guys. I love these. And see, we just did a special issue called The Four Kings about that era in the 80s where you had Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns, and Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And they all fought each other. They fought 9 bouts from 1980 to 1989. And that kind of defined that decade and that era. Well, with these little guys, with Chocolatito, Sorungvasai, Juan Francisco Estrada, Carlos Cuadras, they did the same thing. Mm-hmm. Go look at their record. They all fought each other.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
So did anyone here ever see Hagler work out for fights?
I think that's just you.
That was
that Palm
best.
Springs?
Yeah, that's better than going to a fight.
Yeah, right. So you should have had like a little Super 8.
I should have had my iPhone.
Yeah, where was your iPhone?
Okay, I got a couple questions.
Okay, Coach.
So I got just some nicknames. Harry Greb.
Nickname.
The Pittsburgh Windmill.
Got it.
Pittsburgh Windmill? Wow, I've never heard that one.
Oh,
Perpetual
Wow.
motion. He's from Pittsburgh.
That's like in the 20s, right?
Yes, 20s.
Okay.
20s.
Good one.
Pittsburgh was the fight town.
Yeah.
Good one, Doug. I never heard that. I never heard that one.
Yeah,
Never
that's
Okay.
heard that?
No.
Pittsburgh Windmill.
Okay.
Did you ever hear of Harry Greb?
Yes, I heard of Harry Grab. I didn't know his nickname.
Okay. How about Julian Jackson?
The Hawk.
The Hawk. Yeah.
Perfect.
I knew that one.
Because he was looking at you like a hawk. He was looking at his opponents like a hawk, and when he would land a right hand, he'd go like that. Go on YouTube
There you
and watch it. When he landed the knockout punch, he knew it.
Huge puncher.
You're done. You're going to drop right there.
Julian
You're gonna
Jackson.
drop right there.
Huge puncher. Yeah. You're right.
Great guy. You
Yeah.
probably got to know
Sure.
him up in Golovkin's camp.
Yeah,
He
when
would
his nephew had come to spar with Triple G a number of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Julian's a great guy. Yeah.
Julian, he had a lot of fights, but he knocked everybody out. So it's like he had no fights.
Yeah, he's sharp.
He's mentally sharp, and he's fighting weight. And he's actually a better interview now than he used to be when he was a fighter.
Yeah.
He wasn't that great on camera back in the day. But
He's very personable now. Yeah.
very.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was always a warm individual.
He's got that island
Yeah.
warmth.
He's from the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, the Virgin Islands. That's
Those
right.
guys are all cool.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, how about this one? Benny Leonard.
Benny Leonard was the ghetto wizard.
The Ghetto Wizard.
Wow.
Oh, that's great. That's
Back in the day, Jews were in the ghetto.
that's strong.
Lower East Side, yeah.
Strong answer, Doug.
Those were the ghetto boys.
We got Oliver. Oliver just joined us.
What's up, Oliver?
Hey, Oliver. Okay, so I got another.
He's normally our producer on the
all-time
show.
New York fighter,
Okay.
Bob Montgomery.
Oh, Bob Montgomery. Was he the Bobcat?
Wow.
Oh, the Bobcat. Wow.
Hey, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I use Bob Montgomery when somebody wants to debate all-time rankings with me. I say, like in person. I say, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, no, I just want to explain to you why I have Floyd Mayweather Jr. in my top 10 or 15. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about your top 10 or 15. No offense. And they said, come on, just hear me out. And I'm like, listen, I'll hear you out if you can tell me one thing about Bob Montgomery. And they're like, who?
There you go.
You can't tell me. You don't know.
Who did he fight at the Olympic Auditorium?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Okay, I'll give you a couple clues. The guy was a bail bondsman and a good friend of Art Aragon.
Of Art Aragon.
Good friend.
Is that the original Golden Boy?
Aragon and this guy.
Oh, no way. I know. Joey Barnum.
Wow.
Oh, who else would get that? Who else would get that?
Joey Barnum.
Fucking Barnum.
Nice.
Joey Barnum. I met him. I met Joey.
Nice.
You know, he trained this fighter at the Ocean Park Arena,
Yeah.
which is right up the street here.
Yeah.
And they got in an argument, and a week later they fought.
I think he wrote a screenplay for that. It might have been produced.
That's
or
funny.
something. Yeah.
So he fought
That's
the
a great
trainer?
story. And
That's
that was
funny.
like 10 years after he retired.
Yeah,
That
exactly,
he comes back
yeah.
to fight
and
this.
he beat the guy.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Joey Barnum. There you go.
Dougie, we got
Doug's on a roll on this Easter
This is a
Sunday.
good one, man.
Wait.
Yeah. This is a good one.
Doug, you earned your
my
Easter
God,
eggs.
I never thought you'd get those.
Yeah.
That is-
I'm-
oh, wow.
Barnum fought. So Joey Barnum fought Johnny Bratton. I think he beat him in an 8-rounder. And Joey fought Bob Montgomery.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer. Bob Montgomery's in the Hall of Fame. So I asked these folks, tell me one thing about Bob Montgomery. They're like, come on, man. I'm like, one thing. Was he a fighter? Was he a trainer? Was he a promoter? Like, I don't know. So answer me this. Was he black or was he white? You got a 50% chance of getting this right. Just guess. They don't have the balls to guess. Get out of here.
What championship did he hold?
He was a lightweight champion, but it was like regional. It was like the New York State Athletic Commission's recognition as world lightweight.
Which
Yeah, they held a lot of weight.
It was a time.
Well,
New York
because
State,
New York City was the
yeah.
capital of boxing
Yeah.
world
Right.
from like the 20s up through the 40s.
Remember,
We got it. That's crazy, Dougie.
that's a big.
Organized crime was a big part of that.
That's a big role, Doug. No, I remember when Kevin Kelly was in the Golden Gloves, a big Golden Glove champion. That was like world class
It was.
at that time.
That was like, for a long time, being Golden Gloves champion in New York City was like an Olympic medal.
Right.
It held
Yeah,
that
right
kind
there.
of weight
Yeah.
in the professional ranks.
Right.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And then the New York Golden Gloves would fight the Chicago Golden
right.
Gloves.
The inner city. Yeah, and that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Which is what Robinson did. And those fights were attended like
Yeah.
professional.
Oh, sure. They were selling out Madison Square Garden
Yes,
back
it
then.
Was it
Yeah.
The Golden Gloves were selling out Madison Square Garden
Yes.
for the amateur fights. Yeah.
And in other major venues in Detroit, Chicago, Jersey City,
Did Philly
Boston,
have Golden Gloves?
Philadelphia, yes, yeah.
That-
All those East Coast cities.
That should have been a big rivalry, right, between Philly and New York fighters?
Yeah,
Golden Gloves?
Well, Philly and Pittsburgh fighters, and then Philly and New York fighters, and Philly and Boston. Yeah, it was a rivalry.
You got Alonzo 2121 says you're the modern era Burt Sugar.
Oh, that's the highest praise. I wish. I'm trying to get there.
Except
I don't drink as much, and I don't do the cigar.
you pay your bills.
I pay my writers.
All right, Coach, you have any more for Doug?
I gotta quit. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, on that-
That's the best he ever did. I mean, I
No, you barn. I feel good about that one.
Yeah, all of-
That's strong.
I feel
That's a
good.
strong answer.
So we want to wish everyone a happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter, happy holiday weekend.
Yeah.
It feels like one long holiday right now.
Right?
No, but you can make
Yeah.
this into a positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really
You
can.
have to.
You need
It
to.
can
You need
drag- it
to.
can drag you down, or it can pull you up. You just got to be positive, and it's not that tough.
You got to be thankful for the change of pace, right? I mean, some businesses are struggling, but a lot of businesses have become creative
Yeah.
in other ways to serve the community. I heard even
Here we go. Here's the message.
even restaurants are becoming somewhat.
We're all in this together.
Oh, look at the squirrel! Oh, Kevin Costner has squirrels in his backyard. That's his pet squirrel. He trained them really well.
He did.
Yeah, nice.
She's friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We are Legion.
We're all in this. We are Legion. We're all in this together.
Oh, is that what the shirt is? Okay.
Well, no, this is some comic book nerd.
Oh,
stuff,
that's a
but I'm
comic book
saying
thing, yeah.
We're
But
in
you're
this together.
relating that to the Corona situation. now.
Yeah, we got to pull together, and we can keep a sense of community doing stuff like this, and we should.
And people need to
And
use
stay
this
healthy.
time to do positive things and catch up on things that they normally don't have time for
Right.
in their busy schedule.
And also, though, be very responsible.
Yes.
To yourself and to everyone else.
Right.
It's really
And respectful.
important.
That's
You
right.
can't take this for granted,
No.
and it's not going to go away by itself. But if we do keep the
Yeah.
distance,
See,
If we keep the distance, if we
this-
stick
this-
together,
My wife made me a
Social
sack
distancing?
lunch. Oh no, it's one
it's
of
your.
these things. See.
Remember, you're not supposed to touch
You
the
remember how to
material.
put it on?
Yeah, I didn't.
Yep,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah.
And then when you're done with it, you
Nice.
put it in a paper bag instead of a plastic bag because the paper bag breathes. So you
Yeah.
have like
Oh,
the wet particles,
smart.
the moisture.
Yeah.
If you put it in a plastic bag, it just
It
holds
stays
it
in there. Okay, see,
And it
that's smart.
festers, right?
So all your
So
viewers at home,
Yeah.
remember, if you're storing a mask, store it in the paper bag.
how
Store
come
it in a
it's all
paper
one
bag.
color? It's supposed to have a color on each side.
Oh yeah, we got to work on that. I want to get one that's black and yellow. See, that'll be easy for me. It'll
Right.
match a lot of my stuff. So we're all do what you got to do. But stay positive. That's-
Stay positive, and even though there's less traffic, you still have to drive safe. Don't text and drive.
Yes.
Don't be on the
Really
phone.
be on the lookout because there's some folks that aren't used to having this much road,
Right.
this much
Or
space.
driving at the higher
So they're
speeds.
driving. There's like 1 out of 10 persons is like a complete maniac.
And
Right.
they're confused.
Yeah.
No, people, because I've
Yeah.
had it
The-
happen.
the
just
depth
coming here
perception at the
today.
higher speed.
I had someone totally confused.
Yeah.
They didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you know what I've seen a couple of times. I've seen people run red lights.
Right, because they
there's
just take it
there's
for
nobody there.
granted.
They're like, what's going to stop me? You know,
Right.
and it's like,
Right.
you
No,
still
you still got to have
play
a
by the
structure.
rules, yeah. But watch
Yeah.
out for that maniac because
Yeah.
he or she is out there.
And at the higher speeds, the accidents actually, even though they're fewer, they could be worse at a higher speed. So just
But then the
really
ambulance can't
be
come
careful.
Because they're waiting for a corona.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're through. You're all
Yeah.
through. Anyway, everyone have a great day.
Oh, we got a question. Actually, we'll do one question before we sign off. Which post-fight caused fans to riot and burn certain part of the Inglewood Forum?
I think that was a Ruben Olivares fight. I think it was when Olivares lost to, was it Cote? Was it Alfred Cote?
I
Poison
only remember.
Cote? Did he fight?
I just remember the riots at the Olympics.
Yeah, well, that was
That
common.
was
But
huge.
there was a riot at the Forum.
Ruben Olivares, huh?
Olivares, they went crazy for him.
Oh,
They
okay.
were his fans. So if he lost a decision that was real close and they thought he won, they tripped out. And they ripped the seats out. There's a great photo of like a smashed organ. Was that from the Olympic or was that from the there's a black and white photo. I got to go and look at the archives, but like they uprooted that and tossed the before walk-in music, they had the man or the woman on
The organ? Oh, nice.
playing as the fighters went to the ring.
Actually, he wrote in
Yeah.
the one he was talking about was Chucho Castillo versus Lionel Rose.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah.
I guess there was a riot after that one.
So Rose must have got a decision over
So let me ask you
Castillo that
this.
people didn't like.
Where's Lionel Rose from?
Australia.
Yeah.
He's an Aborigine.
He was, yeah.
Seemed like a real
And I
character,
think,
too.
Oh, he's got a few. Oh, look at the squirrels. The squirrel has he found something.
Yeah.
Lionel
Making a nest.
Rose is a girl who's a relative is fighting now? Or
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
Really?
read something about it, yeah.
We got to ask our lady Lulu Houghton.
Yeah,
Lisa Houghton.
we
She's
see
from
Lulu
Australia.
posting. I think she's in Australia there.
Yeah.
So we got
I tell you what, Lulu's staying in shape.
So you got to compliment that they're thankful that we found a CDC compliant way to keep the show going. So we're
Yeah.
keeping our social distancing.
Yeah, no, seriously, folks, we are like more than 10
The
apart.
sound might not be so great,
we're
but
not
we
jumping
need to observe our
And
distancing
we
rules.
used to ride share here. I
Right.
would meet
Everyone's
folks
in
at a
separate
location,
cars.
We'd ride together. Now it's
Right.
separate cars.
Nobody's shaking
We're not
hands.
doing lunch. We don't. We used to go and get coffee or get lunch out.
I have the
miss
center.
that, by
I have the
way.
hand
Can't do that
sanitizer
right now. Yeah.
with us.
And pure thinking.
Yeah. That's really important.
And someone agrees that jump rope is the best at-home exercise. It's one of them. I've been doing a lot of push-ups, but you can do jump rope, you can do sit-ups, you can get very creative.
You want to know what I do in my garage? I skip rope for 5 to 10 minutes. Then I get on the elliptical machine for about 10 minutes. I have a double in bag, Mexican style. So
There you
it's
go.
Peanuts.
Right?
Hitting up and down.
There you go.
I'm going southpaw
Yeah.
and I'm putting right hooks in there. And I do that for about 3 to 4 minutes. I let the music, I have music playing, so
Okay.
when a song's over, I switch to
okay.
switch stations.
Yeah.
Then I go to the heavy bag, and then I do like some squat type stuff with a weight, like a
Yeah,
one of
dumbbell,
those, what are they called?
kettlebells.
Yeah, I do that. So I'm going
Yeah.
like that and lifting this
Yeah,
like that.
those kettlebells can be great
Yeah.
exercise.
And then I got one of them platforms. It's like you balance on it.
Uh-huh.
Balance is really important.
Sure.
So I get on there and I do like the curls while I'm balancing, and then I do here, and it's just like 15-pound weights too, right? It's real light, but I'm working my legs and my stomach because I'm balancing on this platform, and then I have a bench where I just do either a bench press type thing, or like I'm at an angle where it's like this, So it's like different parts of the
Yeah,
back.
no,
And
you
then
can
I
get
have
creative.
a roller wheel
Yeah.
that's got handles on it, and I do those.
Oh, for the ab roller?
Abs. Yeah, it's
Oh,
an ab
yeah.
roller. But imagine an ab roller where
With the hand.
it's got like a bicycle handles on it.
Uh-huh.
So you really
So you can
gotta
grip
stay.
onto it, yeah.
And you work in your arms and
Got it.
everything, and you do that.
Well, that's great.
And then I do it. I just do that twice. I do that circuit twice, and I can do it in 30 minutes.
There you go.
Sometimes I feel good and I shadow box and I'll let it last about 45 minutes.
And don't you feel good after your workout session? Then your
feel
mind feels clear, your
I
body
go
feels
do some work
better.
and I'm clearer. I
Right.
do like better copy editing or posting or writing, or I chill out, and
Right.
watch something. I just, it's family time, have some popcorn or whatever, but then I do that every other day. And in the days that I don't do that, I do like yoga for like 30 minutes.
How about your dog for a walk?
Yeah, when we walk the dog.
So I would say the best exercise and the easiest, and I think what you get the most out mentally and physically is walking.
Walking, get some fresh air, keep your
Just go out.
It's
distance.
like meditation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is meditation.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you just go by yourself, really.
Yeah.
You just go out there, chill, take a walk. If you walk for an hour just at an average pace, that's almost 4 miles.
Oh,
something like that. So it's maybe 3.5. So that's good exercise.
Yeah.
And
Better than being inside the house all day. Yeah, for sure.
If it gives you, and it clears your brain.
Yeah.
You feel good, and then you got to really watch. With all this, I think people are eating more, they're cooking more,
drinking more.
I can't cook, so I'm actually losing weight during this. Yeah, I'm eating less, but I have lost weight, and it's it's a good feeling as well.
But we ran out of it, and we didn't replenish it.
And I'm not eating I'm not eating the junk food. Yeah.
So anyway, we want to thank Kevin Costner.
Yeah, for letting us use his
backyard here.
His backyard.
This is our own field of dreams.
Yeah.
One of his areas in the backyard. So we appreciate that. We're going to sign off. Wishing everyone a happy Easter. Stay safe. Stay at home. Observe your social distancing, and we'll all get through this. We'll get this through together. And the physical distancing as well. Yep. Absolutely. Okay, we're signing off.
Next Sunday, y'all.
All right.